When I was 17, I was in a massive car accident that left me physically and emotionally scarred. I had a lot of anger in me that I hid from everyone, asking, why me? When I finally decided to deal with that anger, I realized how lucky I was to get a second chance. Very few come back from the dead.
Joining me here at Wilson Middle School on his cross-country tour, Robb Nash. Welcome, Robb.
Hey, good to be here.
All right, so now you go across Canada, you share the most inspirational messages with kids, with youth, you connect with them. Tell me about this.
Well, when I was 17, I was hit by a semi-truck in a car accident, and I was found dead. And my parents were called to see my body the whole bit. As you can tell, I came back to life. But I woke up, I didn't know who my parents were, and you know, I went through a lot of struggles, and I'm still having surgeries to this day. But some people think when you go through a tragedy, it's good for you. Like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I completely disagree. You know, because I woke up very bitter and angry. Why did this have to happen to me? And then I just realized one day we're all gonna go through our tough days. It's up to us to do what we're gonna do, right? And I decided somebody out there needs my story. And I thought, how could I tell my story to other young people so they don't have to get hit by a semi like me before they make every day count? So we started playing music, and we got a record deal. We had our 4 top 10 hits on the radio, and we're touring with our favorite bands, huge crowds. And then one day I was offered a tour through prisons, youth detention centers, native reserves, and schools telling my story. And I was like, yeah. But there's no pay doing this because schools don't have a budget for it. So we don't charge $1 for these shows. My record label said you can't do this tour because they wanted to make money. So to do the tour, I had to rip up my record deal, publishing deal, management deal, and we just started this tour, and it's just been growing, and we just topped 985,000 students on this tour, and we've learned to cover the issues that the kids are dealing with, from addictions, self-harm, suicide. Every show we do, including today, we got suicide notes and razor blades from these kids, and we've had 252 students have walked up to us after shows in junior highs and high schools and pulled suicide notes out of their pocket and handed them to us. Sitting in class with a note in their pocket. Police tell us on average somebody writes that note 2 to 3 months before they do it, waiting for somebody to push them over the edge. So we try to have that breakthrough moment with them through music and stories, and it's happened. So 252 kids in person giving to us. We've so many on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, on YouTube rip up their notes when they get home and send it to us. So we just feel like we're just scratching the surface of this tour, and we just want to keep going because there's so much need out there, and there's also so much tragedy. So we try to show the stories of victory and let them know you do have the strength, you can get through it.
Absolutely. Now, you were saying that you disagree with the whole sort of cliche of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And well, do you feel that maybe you have sort of found your purpose because of what's happened to you? You're able to reach out to others? Yeah,
but it's a delicate balance. You know, some people, I was just on another interview where they said, if you could go back in time, would you do it all over again? Would you get hit by that semi all over again? No, I wouldn't. It didn't make me a better person. I've met people that have never been hit by a semi that have a better outlook on life than I do.
Wow. But
I've also met people that have been in horrific accidents that have done nothing with it. Another cliche I can't stand is when people all told me that everything happens for a reason.
Right.
And then I had to lay in recovery trying to figure out the reason it happened to me. Until I realized the reason it happened to me was because we were going too fast on an icy road. Things happen. And if we just sit there and go, why me? Why did this have to happen to me? So we don't say that everything happens for a reason. We say everything happens with potential. Like my accident had the potential to leave me angry and bitter the rest of my life. I'm still having surgeries.
Wow.
Or there's a potential you can turn your tragedy around in your story, and you can help others with it. And that's what I love, you know.
That's amazing. And you're touching people all across the country, like you said, 252 students. How many years have you been doing this cross-country tour?
We're coming up on 5 years, which seems crazy.
Wow.
And when we started the tour, it was really tough because you leave a school and you're crossing your fingers and you hope you've been able to help somebody, whether it's, you know, an addiction, whether it's self-harm, suicidal thoughts. At first, I didn't know if it would work. But I have moments in my life where I can tell you where I was sitting when I had a breakthrough. So we're just trying to provide that in a school, you know?
That's amazing. Is there any advice to parents or teachers? I mean, obviously kids are dealing with a lot of stuff, but if you've got this many kids coming up to you that are dealing with issues, I mean, it's a testament to what kids are going through these days.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest mistake, both whether it's parents, teachers, or just adults in general, I think the mistake that we can make is we try to make it sound like we have it all together. You know, if your kid has going through something, you want to have that perfect saying, oh, you don't worry about this. The pain will go away. You'll get over this and stuff. And then if the pain doesn't go away, and it doesn't sometimes,
yeah.
For example, if you lose a friend, somebody dies, that pain's not going away. just teach them pain doesn't go away, but neither does the strength, and be willing to hurt alongside them. I just dealt with one mom. Her son was suicidal, and she says, please tell me what to say to him to make it all better. I said, there's no phrase that makes it all better. There's no magical words like that. Just actually be willing to say, I've been there too, I've hurt before too, and be willing to hurt alongside someone. The reason that people respond to our show, I believe, is because we sit there, we do our show, and I always start with my own story. And it's not easy for me to tell my story. I have to be vulnerable, and I have to open up in front of a bunch of strangers. And I've never had any kid come up to me and say, Rob, I got hit by a semi like you, and I have a metal head like you. Never once. But kids listen to me and they go, wow, this guy knows what it's like to go through something tough. So do I. He found the strength. Maybe so can I. He's willing to talk about it. Maybe so can I. And I think we can do that as parents too, as teachers. I think just as an adult, you can say, yeah, I've been through some stuff. Because as soon as that one person opens up, all of a sudden everyone around goes, oh, I feel that same way. Everyone feels alone, and yet they're sitting in a room with 100 other people that all feel alone, you know?
Absolutely. That's very inspiring, Rob. Thank you so much for your motivational speech and so for what you do with kids across the country. That's Robb Nash here at Wilson Middle School on his cross-country tour. We'll have more coming up on Go Southern Alberta.